January already. I cannot believe it.
Those
gosh.
holidays just flew right by.
Crazy. Anyway, we're here with a new friend, obviously.
Not a new friend, but
new friend to you.
Yeah.
So this is Angel.
Hello. So excited to be here.
Yes, thanks for coming. We're so honored that you're here. We admire Angel so much and have looked up to her, and she's inspired us in so many ways.
So Angel's background is in, as we mentioned to you in December, that she is a wellness coach and a nutrition expert. She brings so much knowledge to mindful eating, which is kind of our theme in the new year, is being mindful.
Living mindfully.
Living mindfully, but especially with our eating, which is so important. So we thought it would be awesome to share Angel's knowledge with you guys, because we just get so much from her, and she teaches us so much. So,
gosh, you guys come to my house. To my family.
So a little bit of background on how we know Angel is. I hired Angel. I worked with her quite a while ago when it started, probably 6 years ago, and struggled with my son who has food allergies, and it just kind of became a whole stress and challenge in our whole household and our family. So we worked with Angel with our family, and she worked directly with our kids, which was awesome. And that just led, one thing into another. And Angel, I follow her on Facebook. I always take all of her, stuff to heart, and I've just learned so much from her cookbooks, her recipes, her cleanse, which we'll get into in a few minutes. But that's just a little bit of background, and now we're just happy to share her with you.
Right, and I think we'll get into the mindful eating, but the mindfulness aspect of our, the theme of the new year is about being mindful in our everyday lives, whether it's driving down the road or
brushing your teeth,
brushing your hair, being conscious of what you're doing, being mindful of what you're doing, and that brings you back to the present moment. So you're always being in the moment throughout the day. So especially when we're eating, and Angel can talk about this, this helps you with digestion.
It helps you just to really, it seems that I think it's so easy to go about your meal or go about your eating and just eat and not even necessarily taste your food.
Yeah.
So you could sit down for a whole meal, or like us moms, or busy moms do, stand up and eat our food, shove our face just because we're hungry and we know we need to eat.
Or grab it as you're going out the door to go get in line for the kids, and you're just like eating in the car, and
or not eat. Like so many women just don't eat, so then they're not being mindful of what they need.
Right.
To nourish themselves.
And I hear people say that all the time, and like, it's noon and someone will say they're just eating their breakfast, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? I wake up starving. So
so maybe you can share any of your mindful eating tips that you share with other people, and what you find to be helpful.
So it is so much about being present and being conscious, like you're talking about this month. And one of the things is, I know you girls talk about a lot, is breath. Just coming, using your breath to become more present. So I always talk with people, with clients or people in my coaching groups, about when you sit down, take some deep breaths, like 5 to 10 deep breaths, to just bring you to the present moment. And even if you're with other people, it'll just look like you're listening really intently while you're taking your deep breaths. But what that does, it does a couple of things. But one of the main things it does just for your digestive system is that it switches your nervous system into parasympathetic mode, so rest and digest mode. So a lot of times we're just in fight or flight mode, sympathetic dominance. So we cannot digest our food well when we're in that mode. And it might just be like low level, sympathetic fight or flight mode that we're kind of in chronically. And so what we want to do is take those deep breaths and shift our nervous system over. And that, it brings us more present, so we can be more conscious about what we're eating and how we're eating. And it also just physiologically helps set you up for better digestion and to assimilate the nutrients. Because you can be eating the most nutrient-dense food, but if you're eating it in stress mode, you're not really your body can't really take in those nutrients and utilize them. Doesn't absorb them.
Such a great point.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So even putting a little Post-it note, that says breathe. I have some clients just do that because we just
Stick it on their fridge or their
just-
stove.
oh,
or
I love
wherever.
that.
Yeah.
just as a reminder.
As a reminder.
Because we forget.
Yes.
And to
we do
taste our
forget.
food. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Enjoy your food.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is why, especially if you're taking the time to prepare it, a healthy meal,
Yeah.
it's enjoy it and really taste it. And
Yeah, pay attention to the colors, especially, as you, what I call bump up the quality of your food and you eat more fresh food and more real food. I mean, if you really pay attention, it's beautiful. Like, it's so different looking than what you get at the through a drive-through, fast food.
Yes.
When you really look at that, if you look at it really closely, you probably...
And I always love that
Eat
you
it.
post different pictures of all the colors on your plate because it always looks so yummy, but it's true. I mean, when you pay attention to that, it's beautiful, but it's so yummy too.
Yeah.
So I always love that when you post pictures about your whatever you're making that day or
yeah,
wherever you're eating that day.
very
So-
inspiring.
Yes. So you also have your cleanse, which Christine has done and her husband has done, and lots of our friends have done that have just had amazing results with. And so you have a cleanse coming up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I've done the cleanse, I think 3 times now, and kind of spread it out over this past year. And it is, I mean, I can't say enough amazing things about it. It truly, you just feel like a different person at the end of it. Even though, even I feel like I'm a pretty healthy eater. I mean, I definitely can enjoy my chocolate a little too much sometimes.
Me too. Is there something wrong with that?
No,
Just
absolutely
eat it
not.
consciously.
Yeah, exactly. I really just let that stir in my mouth for a little while. So anyway, it's amazing. You see amazing results. The energy that you get from this, and it's really, people think cleanse and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't not eat food for 14 days. I'm sorry, not 4 weeks. But it's not that at all. You're just eating real whole foods. You're abstaining from the 7 foods that can cause inflammation or allergy or
And you're
suspicious
learning a
7.
ton through the whole process.
Yes.
You're learning about
That
what
was
to
really
put.
my goal.
Yes.
It was a little subversive with this because I really designed it originally for busy moms and wanted moms, because I was working with so many women who were focused on their kids and their family, but they're struggling so much with their own health. So I wanted something where it would be very sort of prescriptive for 2 weeks, because I wanted people to be nourished. Like, I wanted women to be nourished and really feel what that feels like and get rid of some of the toxins for sure. Because then when you're nourished, when your body's nourished with real food, and this is like good real food, right? I mean, it's delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
It's
Yeah, the
not like-
recipes are amazing and simple.
Yeah.
They're, I mean,
and it's
really.
not counting calories, it's not low fat, it's just nourishing your body with really good food. But then your body is going to give you information that's more accurate, because a lot of times we're either not tuning into what our body's telling us through symptoms, low energy, PMS, all kinds of things. But a lot of those symptoms are because we're not nourished well. So when you nourish your body well, the symptoms start to change and a lot of times alleviate, right?
Right.
And then you can tune in and you can really tune in and say, am I hungry? Like, am I really hungry? Or is this like something emotional? Like, do I need to nourish myself with like something non-food? But until
Right.
you really nourish your body first and kind of stabilize your blood sugar and your,
Feel
have
that feeling.
yeah,
Yep.
then you don't get the right information until then.
Okay.
Such a great point, too.
Yes.
And I've actually tried to put that into practice with feeling like, okay, 3 hours after I've eaten, which I've learned, like, that's not quite when you should be eating, but I will take a couple deep breaths and then realized, okay, do I need to have a glass of water? Is that why my body is thinking that I'm hungry?
Yeah.
Have a
Am I
glass of water.
dehydrated?
Yeah, am I
Yeah.
dehydrated? Am I stressed out about something? Or did my kid trigger something? Or, you just don't know. But I think that being mindful in that, you're able to really
And so
tune in.
through the whole 14 days, you learn about that with you.
Yeah,
You
so
learn about that
that's what I
process.
really wanted is for women, and now there's been, there's teenagers through grandparents, men and women, thousands of people have done it now, and I really wanted people to feel educated, like come away empowered, like you feel a difference in your body,
Yeah.
and you
And have the tools to
the
carry on with it.
and the community, in the Facebook community, so that you have the support. So I think all of those factors are so important.
Yeah.
I think, too, and you just mentioned the Facebook community, I feel like the biggest difference with Angel's cleanse is that the support and the coaching from Angel during the 2-week cleanse, and then also that Facebook group. I mean, you have people chiming in, saying things or commenting, asking questions. Why am I feeling this way? And then you kind of feel like you're not alone. Like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling that way too. I'm so glad they asked that question. And then you start to have this dialogue. And the first time I did the cleanse, I came away from that with this group. It was kind of a smaller group at that time because it was only a few months into it. I felt like I made new friends, and I had never met these people before. I mean, it really is a community. So that is right there, I think, probably one of the main aspects too, that it's so helpful with that.
Helps them get through the process. Yeah. We will have a link to Angel's page and her cleanse on our blog below, so feel free to click on that, and you can go right to her and ask her questions, and leave questions and comments on our blog as well. And then the cleanse, like you said, will start January 18th.
Yeah, the first one of 2015 is January 18th. So the registration deadline will be probably the 8th.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a great way to start off the new year
with mindful living.
Yeah. It's just a great way to do it and to give back to yourself. We're always talking about self-love and self-care and putting ourselves first and really filling up our cups. This is a great way to do it. This is a great way to be able to give back to those by filling yourself up first.
And your family too.
Yes, and bring your husband. I always do it with my husband, and it is a huge support system, because he's not sitting there eating all this food during those 3 days when we're doing the liquids. But so having that or doing it with a friend too is a great way to do it.
Yeah, and you have the community that Angel has, when you're doing it. So if you can't have it, if you don't have anyone else in your family, you will have that, which is huge.
And the family's eating the same things, basically.
Yes.
The recipes are family friendly, so it's not like mom is making all these separate meals.
Right.
Your family can eat the same
Everybody's
thing.
eating healthy food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you.
It
was awesome having you here, and we look forward to
learning more.
Yes, learning more and all of the exciting things that 2015 is going to bring to us.
Yeah, so leave your questions and comments for us, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.